Don't let me down.
I recognize the performance tonight.
Don't let me down.
Resulted in over 500 arrests of workers.
Don't let me down.
Some of us.
We had our first press conference, you guys, which is why I'm wearing a blazer. Oh. Hey guys. I'm not here to talk about the press conference. Oh. I am here to talk about last night's talk on the Paris Climate Conference. It went on, I think, in December last year, just a couple months ago, and the talk was called After the Paris Accord to discuss what went on. It was great because there were so many people that came out that night, and it was like this big lecture hall. And people from the town, like not even just from the school, came up to watch or to listen, to ask questions, to be a part of this. And there were so many people, all the seats were filled. There were literally people standing on the sides of the aisles, you know, trying to get a seat because they wanted to know what was going on, you know, be a part of this movement. And there were panelists there. Some of them were professors from my school, some from one nearby. And they actually attended the conference in Paris. They went, it was just after the terrorist attack there. It was a little dangerous, maybe, but security was very high, and Paris was very intent on keeping the conference going on. So what went down was these panelists all had a different specialty. Some were environmental politics, some were like researchers focused on soil and things like that. And one woman, she was from this organization. She was like ex-military, and because she's ex-military, she like went to 20 different countries. She noticed that their environment wasn't in a very good place, and her and even a bunch of other veterans are serving with her in this organization called We Are Seneca Lake. You can check out their website. I will link it in the down bar below. But these veterans were mostly realizing that even though there are countries around the world that are not in a good place environmentally, the same war or like situation is going on at home. This is also such a huge domestic issue, and it's not just third world developing countries that don't have drinking water. It's also developing countries like the US or like countries in Europe that are still a huge part of this issue. And they said that although it's like the higher generation, people in the government, people who are older, who are pushing for this issue right now, it is on the younger generation, my generation, your generation, to push this forward, to bring more awareness, to make people aware that climate change is a huge issue, which I learned. Climate change is the politically correct term as opposed to global warming, because the Earth is warming up, but it's not just countries that are colder that are warming up. It's also that countries that are warmer are getting colder because of the effects of the warming atmosphere. Mostly this is just like a bringing awareness issue, and I know probably people have told this to you so many times, but honestly, you are being told this so many times because this is such an important issue. I'm not going to force you to join an organization. You know, if that's what you want to do and you believe in the issue of climate change so strongly, you can do that and join organizations like We Are Seneca Lake. I'll mention that some of them protest and or like hold demonstrations, peaceful demonstrations, and yet they are arrested for misconduct or whatever. Not telling you, go out there, get arrested, but even on the individual level, do what you can, like turn off the water when you're brushing your teeth, take shorter showers, don't use as much hot water, or turn off the lights when you leave the room. Like, I know that it's impossible to like live completely off the grid and not use any energy at all. Like, I'm using energy right now filming this video, and you're using up energy watching it, I use so much energy binge watching Netflix and Hulu every day, and it will be hard to, live completely off the grid, but honestly, do what you can, like walk places, use a bicycle, use public transportation, try not to use your car if you really need it. Small things like that, recycling, separate your garbage. So many things can be done on an individual level, and if you want to work hard and increase that and try to use less energy, then good for you. I mean, this whole country is trying to become that way anyway. People are trying to make cutbacks on fossil fuels, like they're trying to ban fracking. I know fracking has been banned in the state of New York, which is great. At the panel, I believe they said that the US is trying to rely on less or completely off of fossil fuel or oil for energy by 2035, and the state of New York, I believe, is trying to cut back completely by 2030. And I think they said the whole world is going to try to cut back by 2050. I'm not really sure, but I know there was a date thrown around about 2050, something being done by 2050. I don't think this is an issue that we can keep putting off because we're not getting any younger. The earth is not getting any cooler. This is an ongoing situation. And if we keep living the way that we are, the earth, the atmosphere is just going to keep warming up, and that's not good for literally anyone. And it's upon developing countries like the US to help out third world countries and countries that cannot provide for themselves. And although some developing countries may not be like a huge problem of emitting fossil fuels, there's still the population issue. And I think it's upon the developing countries to educate these people. And I'm not talking about they're completely illiterate, they don't know anything, but it's because they were never given the opportunity to do so. And if they don't know that this is a problem, if we don't tell them, we're not going to get any help. And if the whole world doesn't work together to lower the temperature of the atmosphere, then we're just not going to have a place to live anymore, and everything's going to go to shit, basically. But yeah, I just wanted to create a video about bringing awareness of climate change because honestly, it's upon the younger generation to create change because there's only one earth, and this is the earth that all human beings live on currently. And older generations will be dead by the time this new policy will be implemented, that, by 2035, we're going to be implementing this. So if we want to create or keep the earth as a sustainable place or a livable place for human beings, then we need to respect the earth that we live on and nurture it and abide by it, not try to destroy it and conquer it because that's what we're capable of doing, or because we have the ability to do so. I wish I was able to film this last night, but I just didn't have time, and I probably would have had more to say because the whole conference or the panel would have been right at the top of my head. And I hope this inspires you guys even just a little to do something on the individual level. Bye guys!